And the Republican primary field continues to grow. Today, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez announced his candidacy. He is set to deliver a speech tonight at the Reagan Presidential Library in California. There are now 13 candidates seeking the party's nomination. Joining us now, reporter Mychael Schnell from our partners at The Hill. Mychael, great to see you as always. So as you know, this is a long shot for Suarez. What do you think is behind this move? Are VP aspirations likely here?
Listen, Kelly, whenever a candidate jumps into the race, and we've seen a number of them jump in, as you just said, already 13 Republicans in this primary, they all say they're getting in it to win the presidency. But as you mentioned, Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, he is a long shot candidate. He has low name ID being a mayor from a city like Miami. But when you question what are his intentions, he did some media today talking about this bid for president. And he essentially said that he sort of tried to show himself to be a generational candidate, saying that he wants to bring generational change. He's made some of those adjustments in Miami during his stint as mayor. He's currently in his second term as mayor of Miami, and he says he wants to bring that generational change to the national stage. Whether or not that will resonate enough with voters to actually elevate him in the primary and have him become the nominee, that remains to be seen. We'll have to see how voters react to him on the campaign trail. But nonetheless, this is a bit of a long shot bid, again, because he is a mayor and because he has just pretty low name ID on the national stage.
Yeah, those are excellent points, Mychael. And there are now 3 candidates from Florida in the race. What does that say about the state being a model for American politics and how that'll play out in the campaign?
Yeah, look, Florida is becoming the epicenter of this Republican primary. Florida has been trending red in recent years, so that could be one reason why we're seeing more Republicans jump in the race from that state. We also saw Florida became a state that was really in media headlines and a focus during the pandemic about how Governor Ron DeSantis handled the pandemic. It was a site of a lot of those culture war issues. We saw that issue between Ron DeSantis and Disney. We saw Florida with the Don't Say Gay bill. They've also now enacted a abortion ban. So a lot of these hot button issues that have become a focus in the Republican Party have started and have hit in Florida. So that could be one reason why we're seeing a number of these candidates be from Florida. But again, we'll have to see how that shakes out on the campaign trail. But no doubt these candidates will be focusing a lot on those early states, New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, but they'll probably be looking at back at home as well.
Yeah, certainly. And you mentioned Suarez saying his message is different. He's a generational candidate. So what do candidates who are polling with much less support, what do they need to do, Mychael, to break away from the pack, to gain some real momentum here?
Look, when you have a number of candidates, as you mentioned, 13 Republicans currently in the race, it's all about trying to draw a contrast with one another, trying to show voters why you are different from the person right in front of you, a couple polling numbers in front of you, and at the very top. Obviously, that is former President Trump, who is the front runner in most of these polls, if not all of them, trailed by then Ron DeSantis, who's in a pretty far back second, but a pretty close, he has a pretty commanding firm hold on second place. And then you have all these other candidates who are polling in the single digits. So we'll have to see if any of their messages and their policy platforms really resonate among voters in some of those early states. Iowa comes first, then New Hampshire, then South Carolina. And we'll be trying to see them, try to draw a contrast between them and former President Trump, who is, as I said, the front runner in the race, but also DeSantis, who is in that second place, and also just all the other candidates. This will be a race of trying to see who can attract most of those non-Trump voters, people who are not squarely behind the former president, but are looking for a different standard bearer in the Republican Party. He is a long shot, but look, I think back to the Democratic primary in 2020, there was also a little-known mayor named Pete Buttigieg in that race. He ended up coming in first place in Iowa, which was shocking to many, considering his low name ID before. We just don't know. That's how American politics works.
Yeah, and that's why it's exciting to watch. All right, Mychael Schnell with our partners at The Hill. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.